Low jets screaming overhead at Maho Beach are great and all, but what's it like inside the airport perimeter at St Maarten? We're headed airside today to take the grand tour of Princess Juliana International, getting to know all about this famously busy and space-constrained airport, and of course doing some plane spotting too from some unique perspectives right along the runway. Welcome to St Maarten, the iconic Maho Beach, where you get to do things like this. Anyway, this is Maho Beach, where a lot of people who actually aren't av geeks but want to get the cool shot battle each other for a selfie position. So that's a funny twist on plane spotting. But
luckily we have an airside tour with St Maarten Airport planned today, so we'll actually be able to see what is behind this magic airport fence here at Maho Beach. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Also because less elbows probably in your chest.
Yeah, and there's more than just Maho Beach too. We're going to try and get around a little bit, show you every possible vantage point for watching these planes. Not to mention our live stream, which broadcasts from just down here on the beach. Let's go do it.
This is mostly we have scheduled for turnaround flights. So if you notice, mostly you see the Winair ATRs here, and usually the smaller de Havillands, the twin otters, they'll be parked on this side. You notice our island also has only 4 jet bridges. So 1 to 4. We do have plans to expand, but that's always a waiting on authority.
Yeah.
So these are the de Havillands what I'm speaking about. These are here. They usually park here in the morning areas due to no commercial traffic yet, and then they go over to the Charlie ramp when the bigger commercials come in.
Right.
As you know, there's our tower, radar room, med office, all that good stuff up there. Mm-hmm. And these here usually is the smaller aircrafts. I'll show you another area where we put the smaller aircrafts. These not so long term, minimum 3-4 days, and then they're out of here. Anything that goes up for a week, we go to another spot.
Okay.
This is one of the Menzies, there's the ground handlers here, usually for the bigger airlines. Mm-hmm. So once the main gates are all occupied, this is the area we put them here. We park jets here because they're not intrusive of any lines. So we can still have the commercial aircrafts over here, plus the private jets park on this side. So now we're gonna go back on the main ramp, and then we're gonna go to the south side. Because we used to have the free package, but that don't do much. So we upgraded to the gold, and that was a game changer. Because with the gold package, you can actually track the private jets. This is the Foxtrot ramp. This is where the fire department does their thing.
Oh, they're playing.
Yeah, trying to keep fit.
That's pretty cool.
And this is one of the smaller commuter. This is called St Maarten Airways. So they go mostly where Winair really goes, but on a smaller scale.
Okay.
So they go to St Bar's, Saba, Stacia. Originally, all original Winair pilots. So they're Winair grown.
Why did they start the new airline?
Something for themselves. I wanted to do something for themselves, yeah.
What's the most used aspect of Flight Radar 24 and sort of daily operations for you?
Double checking arrival time versus for the estimate, because sometimes the airlines here locally don't provide us with the actual arrival times, because we have all the schedules, of course, but they don't provide with the actual arrival time. So instead of trying to call, like for instance, if you got to call Winair, you got to call for 15 flights. It ain't gonna happen. So you go on Flight Radar, you get all your arrival flights from the ATRs, especially the ATRs, because the ATRs is where the most traffic comes in from Winair and the spots. Mm-hmm. So then we know, okay, if we got 2 ATRs coming in, don't put a private jet on this side because we gotta make space for the ATR.
Yeah. Okay.
So you see, these guys are here. They're here because they're more than a week. Mm-hmm. So if you got a month stay, the 2-month stay, whatever, this is your spot.
Okay.
And now this is the Gulf ramp we're entering. So there's 2 entrances to the Gulf ramp, Gulf 1 and 2. Because remember, we don't have a schedule for those guys. They could say, hey, today we want to come in, okay, find a spot for you.
Yeah.
So we don't know way in advance. And they could come in and say, hey, we want to come for 10 days, and then decide, no, we leave in 2 days.
Here's a Caribbean Airlines 737 MAX 8 coming in from Port of Spain, Trinidad. Pretty cool to see it from this perspective.
That's the Causeway Bridge.
And oh man, I really love a Falcon. What do you think? Matter of fact, let us know which one of these aircraft today was your favorite down in the comments. Currently, the largest aircraft SXM handles is the A350-1000 from Air Caraïbes. As you'll have probably seen from photos and videos, the 747 used to come here, and that really must have been a sight. With the low landing over the beach on one end and terrain on the other, it really is a spectacular place to see a big jet land and take off. This 49-year-old Trislander is off to the Valley, the only commercial airport serving the island of Anguilla. Flight time 10 minutes.
Tower Roger, run inspection approved. Will advise when clear and completed. All yours. Control tower, ops 1 vacated via echo, nothing to report. Runners in taxi released for your operation at this time.
Thanks, buddy.
Anytime, good buddy.
And we managed to catch a Winair Twin Otter pilot as he came in off a flight to ask him a little bit about what he does and to ask him some of the questions about Winair operations that you all sent in to us on Instagram.
Sure. My name is Captain Nathan Thomas. I'm a pilot at Winair. I've been flying here since 2018.
Okay, nice. And where are you from originally? You come from here?
Originally, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. It's further down south. And I moved here in 2018 after getting a job with Winair here.
Okay, nice. So it's quite a while you've been flying the Twin Otter.
Yes, it has indeed.
And you enjoy it?
Every day it's something new. It's a great experience.
A lot of people have seen some of these special approaches, special runways here that you fly into.
Yes.
What's that like, sort of operating into these places like Saba on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, it's I would say quite rewarding, I must say. It's always, you have to keep your head on, be alert all the time. And it's just somewhat of a fast-paced operation. Of course, we do keep it as safe as humanly possible.
How about with Saba? We flew in there yesterday, famously the world's shortest commercial runway. It does look very short.
Yes.
Is there a special approach you take to that particular operation?
It is a VFR airport, and it's at Winair, it's a captain only landing. So once I was upgraded to captain, we did go and each person receives special training for that airfield. Same as well as St Maarten.
That brings us to some of the audience questions. We have people writing in on Instagram to sort of say what they want to know about this operation. I think a lot of people were curious about what kind of training goes into operating into particularly Saba, but also many of these others. St Bart's also very special, right? Could you tell us a little bit about the training?
Yes. So once you have been upgraded to captain, you are trained. We go over there with our in-house check airman, and they give you the necessary training for the airfield, and we do continue flying with them for a specified period of time before we are signed off. That's for for your captaincy upgrade to land in St Maarten, and Saba. Once we do meet our requirements for Saba, then we are taken over to Saba, where we are trained, and then released once we perform satisfactorily.
So you're training in the real aircraft, not in a sim?
No, the sim is not, there is no training, it's not the same. So I don't think any simulator can simulate what we do in St Maarten and Saba, as for those are two critical airports.
Yeah, nice. All right, we've moved because we're trying to evade the wind and get a nice Winair plane in the background. Hopefully it works now without too much distortion in the mics. And we'll continue with the audience questions if you don't mind. Someone asked about why do some services not use the ILS at St Maarten. I'm guessing that you generally don't use the ILS here.
Well, there's a surprise. There is no ILS here at St Maarten. It's GPS is what we have, and which is less, something we choose less or issued less. It's the VOR approaches. We don't really do those anymore here. It's GPS approaches mostly, and like I said, for the twin otter flights, it's mostly VFR, VMC conditions as well flying here for twin otter operations.
Including coming in here, you just fly visual, yeah?
Yes, because once we're airborne out of St Maarten, mostly can see the island. Same thing for Saba here. It's not that far off.
Yeah, makes sense. How many flights does a Winair pilot, twin otter pilot, do per day on average?
On average, I would say around 10 flights. That's 10 landings. So we go St Maarten back. Mostly, our operation is heavily dependent on St Maarten and Saba as well. And so for, let's say, every 5 flights, every 10 flights, it's mostly St Maarten, and then maybe a Saba, and if anything, to St Eustatius as well. Those are regular scheduled flights, and we do have charter services, and most of our charter flights are usually to St Maarten as well. That doesn't mean that there aren't charter flights anywhere else, but the majority is usually to St Maarten.
Do you know how many landings you've logged at St Bart's?
I'll have to check my logbook, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
Many thousands?
Yeah, for sure.
How many days do you work, like 5 days on, 2 days off, or what's your roster?
Well, it really depends. So now we're heading into what's called slow season here. So sometimes you get 2 days off and maybe 2 reserves, maybe 1 reserve. For the busy period, it can get really hectic for the crew. So maybe 6 days on, 1 day off, and then maybe later on 5 days on a reserve. So it all depends on how well the operation is performing and the demand at that time of the year.
Okay. Somebody asked, where do I book this flight experience? I think they were specifically talking about Saba, where we went yesterday.
Okay, well for here at Winair, you can go to Winair.sx, that's our company's website, and you can purchase tickets there. There's also the charter operations there as well that you can book there as well. And Winair also has a ticket booth inside the terminal close to the check-in counters.
I heard a lot of people actually come to the airport and book the day of, that kind of thing, just let's go.
They do book day trips sometimes. I know we do run specials for the day trips to St Maarten and Saba and so forth, but these things are just, it's always limited.
Yeah. Finally, do you use Flight Radar 24?
Of course I do. It's on my home screen. So in this operation, it's very helpful. Sometimes we get to work and we need to know, well, it's very easy, convenient to see where our aircraft is, if it's running late and, oh, it's landing now. And sometimes we are always prepared and just waiting for the aircraft to touch down, and we can take over our crew, whoever we're relieving, probably very tired. Maybe they're up to 40 landings. The sooner they can get out of here, the sooner we can take over and keep the operation running as smooth as we can.
Nice. Well, you need a flight radar keychain in that case.
Wow, thank you. I appreciate it very much. It's going straight on my bag right after this, I promise you.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thanks very much for chatting with me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining us again today. We hope you enjoyed this little look at SXM Airside. For Flight Radar 24, I'm Gabriel Lee. See you next time.